Good evening. It is 6 o'clock on February 3rd, 2026, and I'd like to call this board meeting for the Village of Sugar Grove to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I'd like to have a moment of silence this evening for former president of Sugar Grove Park District, Kevin Johnson. Thank you. Oh, wait, if we could have roll call, Tracy.
President Stilwell?
Here.
Trustee Lundy.
Here.
Trustee Bonnie?
Here.
Trustee Michaels?
Here.
Trustee Special?
Here.
Trustee London?
Here.
Trustee Roscoff?
Here.
All right, we have no public hearing this evening, no proclamations. For a presentation, Brian Kronwitter from Cordigan Clark will be presenting an update on the police department building and remodel and expansion.
Good evening. Thank you for having us. I'm going to have my crack project team do the update. John Cotton and Rick Frischel.
Hi, I'm John Cotton. I'm the project manager in charge of the project. Rick Frischel is our superintendent, so we'll lean on him for some schedule updates, things like that. So obviously a lot's changed since the last time we all talked together. Had quite a bit of construction that we've gone through. So initial slide we can see here is the base project rendering. This is a drone shot that kind of gives an aerial perspective. This was probably, it was after construction started in September, so I would say this is October. You can see pretty clearly that we've obviously demolished the front entranceway. We've also started the foundations here for the new garage and shelter. So here are some updated milestones for the schedule. I'll let Rick kind of.
Okay, thank you. Taping of the drywall is currently going on. We should be done taping in about a week or two, and then we're going to start actually painting to get ready for ceilings. Completion of the fire sprinkler rough-in will be 2/12. Completion of interior masonry walls, 2/16. Precast panels at New Addition are going to be set next week. We've got a break in the weather, so we're going to take advantage of that and try to get the precast panels set. As far as the addition goes, we're going to utilize most of February installing the precast panels, putting on the trusses, sheeting it, and getting that addition shelled in through the month of February, pouring the slab. Roof replacement is in March. New Addition interiors, 5/12. Renovation interiors, 5/12. Painting touch-up final finishes, 7/21. Substantial completion, 8/4. And first day of operations, 9/8. We are currently on the project schedule. And I'd just like to say for a synopsis, a little overview, the existing building, all the walls are in place. We've got all the MEPs are rough-in, the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing rough-ins done. The walls are up, the drywall is up, the acoustic treatments to soundproof or help with soundproofing the offices is complete, and we're in the process of painting. Like I said, we should be drywalling. We should be painting in about 2 weeks, and the addition will be February, and then March, you're going to be looking forward to seeing the outside skin, new windows, new exterior doors, roofing, brick veneer, and siding and soffits, that type of thing throughout March. Very pleased with the progress. We're making the most we have, making the most of the time we've had, and I'd like to thank the chief and his crew, Brad, for always being there. When we got a question, they're right there to help us out. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions on schedule? Did we get through?
So it says New Addition interiors. Is that when
Do you have most of the interior done?
Most of the interior of the existing building is done.
Okay.
So for the new addition, yeah, basically we are waiting on just slightly better weather, so next week we're going to be setting the precast panels, which then there's a 4-inch topping slab on top of that. Then we'll put the trusses that go on top of that, fully skin it, gets the new roof, all of that kind of pushing through March. And then we're going to run the interior renovation basically front to back. So we'll do it all in tandem. Any other questions? Cool. Next, we will just basically have some photos kind of giving you some progress updates. Feel free to chime in if you have any questions here. So again, this is a better view of where we are setting the foundations for all of the masonry walls that will go into the new Sally Port and garage area. This was all of the interior demolitions, so there was over where we had the existing storm shelter, a fairly substantial amount of precast that we did have to take out, so that all got lifted out with these fork trucks. This is the new foundation for what will be kind of that main entryway. These are additional foundations that were set for the Sally Port. This is where we had to bring in new stormwater improvements. So there was quite an undertaking through Fox Metro, as well as getting the existing storm water management system kind of encapsulated and taken care of. So all new stormwater that's going to be branching out from the building. Again, similar situation right here. This is where we have a couple oil water separators. This will all be inside of the Sally Port. These are new masonry walls for the addition. So again, it's Sally Port for operating purposes, but it's also the storm shelter. So it's all fully grouted masonry walls that will have the precast and topping slab on top. In here, we have a couple pictures of some interior, both structural and light gauge aluminum framing. So on the left side, we have the glue lamp that now basically supports the entirety of the roof. All of the other framing there is just light gauge aluminum that we use for offices and things like that. Here we have electrical rough-in, so we have a significant amount of new underslab rough-in, so we had to cut out portions of the existing slab, which have all been poured back as of today, to offer in-ground or in-floor outlets for the new conference rooms and miscellaneous offices. This is all of the interior partition wall framing that we have completed. This is all now covered up with drywall. This is general MEP rough-in, so this is a plumbing stack that we have roughed in. So on the left side here, we have the HVAC that has all been ducted in. On the right side, we have all the drywall. This purple drywall is the Acoustipat drywall that we have added into primarily office locations or high traffic areas, just to keep noise down. And that is our presentation in total. Happy to answer any questions in the house.
Thank you very much.
All right, great, thank you.
All right, appointments, we have none this evening. Airport report, trustee special.
No report.
Public comments on scheduled action items. The consent agenda this evening, we have the approval of the January 20th, 2026 village board meeting minutes, approval of the vouchers, a resolution approving a collective bargaining agreement with the Illinois Fraternal Order of Police Patrol. And then signed up for public comment, we have Jim Eckert.
Actually, I might be able to skip down to number 12. There's more on the fiber hut.
I could table off.
That's
on
discussion, that would be, yep, that's not up for approval today,
Okay.
so it would be part of the discussion.
Okay,
Thanks, Jim.
I was waiting.
Does anyone else have any public comments on the consent agenda items? What?
No, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Would anyone like to remove an item from the consent agenda? Is there a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda?
Make the motion to approve.
We have a first from trustee Michaels. Is there a second?
I'll make a second.
And a second from trustee Roscoff. Tracy, if we could have the roll call, please.
Trustee Michaels?
Aye.
Trustee Roscoff?
Aye.
Trustee Lundy,
Aye.
Trustee London?
Aye.
Trustee Special?
Aye.
Trustee Bonnie?
Aye.
The ayes have it and the consent agenda is approved. We have no general business items this evening. And would anyone like to make a public comment? Jim Eckert.
Yeah. So no, I did not make the planning commission meeting, so I didn't get a chance to kind of talk through things, but just more comments than anything. So I know in the last 2.5 years, I've been away, basically after leaving the planning commission. So in that period of time, I worked for a company, I built large substations for solar, battery storage, so it's kind of an influx of what's coming toward us. And so when the fiber hut, the amplification and repeater stations were kind of mentioned at the planning commission meeting, I just wanted to kind of take a look at it. So unfortunately, the first time I saw it, I was on my handheld and I didn't get a good chance to look at it. Today I went over to Public Works and actually looked through some of the prints. I just had a couple comments on the ground grid, and I don't know if, was there a flash study done, or do you know? I had heard, I'm sorry, that's what one of my questions was. I'd like to take a look at it a little bit more. But some of the things I saw were on the ground grid itself, the protection schemes. They're going to basically, the poles that are going in on the corners of the fence lines are going to be grounded to the ground grid. There's additional posts that are in between, and we're required to put in or ground those as well. I didn't see it on this one. Not saying anything's wrong, I just didn't see it, and I'd just like to see if I could work with the developer to see if they did like an arc flash study to go on it. The other thing too is I didn't see signage. One of the things that we had to go back and look at signage for our own substations, everything now has to be, for us, has to be both English and Spanish. Okay, and I know that there's a neighbor there that may put in a solar, and a number of representatives are there who only speak Spanish and only understand Spanish. So that's kind of the things I was looking at. Also, again, back to the ground grid, if it extends 3 feet past the fence, if it's the same materials. Again, it's more technical than anything. It's not really the big issue that commented there. So I'm just willing to help if I can. You know, when we go through, had some other things that I was looking at, you know, as far as that goes. But those are kind of the big things. The enclosure manufacturers. I know we're going to be dealing with ATS or you know, throwover switches, and I don't know who the enclosure manufacturer is. I use Crown, I use Trackey. I know that they may be block structure, but just again, willing to help out. If there's any questions, and I can get in more detail if you want, or I can wait till later.
Thank you very much. Maybe during the discussion item, then we can bring those up.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks.
Was there anyone else that wanted to make a public comment?
Yeah.
Hello. Just a couple of things that I wanted to bring up. During the last election, there was a referendum that should the Village of Sugar Grove approve the Grove Development Project by Sugar Grove LLC and Crown Community Development, located near the Interstate 88 and Illinois Route 47, be immediately reversed using all necessary and lawful measures. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a cold here, so. What this says is that 58% of the community voted yes, that this should be reversed if possible. And I just wanted to bring that up. There's a large part of the community that still doesn't want this But if we're going to do it, I would like to at least ask you to assume the responsibility to make sure that it's done properly and safely. And I'm not saying that you wouldn't, but this is a report from Kane DuPage Soil and Water. And I did present this to the previous board. Basically, it says the water table on this first section where they put the retention pond in is basically only about 0.49 to 2.76 feet from the soil surface during the spring and early summer. And obviously, if anybody paid attention to the retention pond that they put in, it was full, always. And it was in a drought. That tells me they hit the aquifer. Now, that's just my opinion, but and they pumped it out, and I believe they're still pumping it out. But it also goes on to state that with that water table, there's problems here with dwellings that are single-family houses of 3 stories or less. For dwellings with basements, foundation is assumed to consist of spread of footings, reinforced concrete built on undisturbed soil at a depth of 7 feet. What this shows is the red area, which is in that first section, is highly problematic to houses with basements, which means it could cause a problem for flooding with the water. And I know that we also have this problem in Mallard Point. My concern is that this land is probably problematic for this type of a development. It is going to offer problems. It's going to end up costing the village and the taxpayers money. I believe I was at one meeting and it was said that Mallard Point cost us about $1.5 million. And then there was a levy put on their homeowners association, and they're paying $400 and some a year for that water, taking care of the water.
Harry, I'm so sorry, the 3 minutes were up.
Oh, it's up already, huh?
Thank you very much. That was-
Wow. Okay, well, there's a potential problem there, so just consider it, please.
All right. Up next, we have a discussion item, special use for fiber hut. Danny Marion will be presenting this item.
Good evening. The village has received an application from ACOM and Middle Mile Infrastructure for a special use permit for a fiber hut facility. The proposed fiber hut facility would be located on Route 30 across from the airport, west of Indigo, immediately west of where the Aurora Airport solar project was approved. The total area of the project would be 180 by 240 foot square on the larger parcel in the northeast corner of the property. They are proposing to build 6 total huts at final build out. They're proposing to do it in stages. The initial stage would be for 2 huts with a generator systems. They are asking for deviations. The following deviations are being requested to allow for an 8-foot tall privacy fence around the entire enclosure, a deviation for crushed aggregate gravel base in place of the required hard surface within the enclosure, and a deviation to not require any street lighting. The Plan Commission did hold the required public hearing on December 17th and continued the hearing until January 21st. The Commissioner's discussion included of who the end user could be. A lot of the Commissioner's discussion focused around the architecture appearance of the huts and the landscaping. They requested the landscaping to match the neighboring landscaping that was approved for the solar project, which the applicants complied to and provided revised landscaping plans meeting that. The commissioners voted 5-1 to recommend approval of the proposed special use with the following conditions. Subject to final engineering approval, the installation of the future huts within the subject area may be approved at the staff level. There shall be no new above ground poles installed and all lines must be buried. And then they added with the noted modifications. These were the architecture request that the Plan Commission made. The building in the northeast corner shall have a gambrel roof design with a metal roof and a central cupola. The building will have composite board and batten siding with bronze trim accents. The building color will be a warm white. The other 5 buildings toward the rear of the site will have gable roofs with composite board and batten siding with the same color scheme as the northeast corner building. And they requested that the eastern red cedar shall be replaced with another type of pine tree in the landscape plans. We did get confirmation from the applicants that they would be willing to comply to the requests of the Plan Commission. We do have a representative here from the applicants to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you. Did you, was it whoever was here from the department head, did you want to step up? I'm so sorry, I don't know.
My name is Michael McIntyre. I represent AECom, and I'm here to answer any of your questions about this.
So who is the end user of this?
Meta,
And then where is the data center that'll be using?
the data center is in a different city to the northwest.
Okay, the one that'll be using, what city is it in?
I have to say it here. It's up in DeKalb County. Yeah, Meta just told us it was in DeKalb, Illinois, for their existing data center that already exists up there.
Okay. Did anyone else have questions?
You must be from Georgia because that's how they pronounce DeKalb out there.
I'm actually from Kansas, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
lived in Georgia long enough to understand how to say it.
Yeah, we call it DeKalb, but I know in Georgia they call it DeKalb.
Yeah.
I apologize. See, the fence is going to be a solid fence, right?
It's a Trex fence, which is 95% wood and 5% plastic.
Okay. But we're not going to be able to see through it. It's a privacy fence.
Yeah, it just looks like a solid wood fence, but
Okay.
it doesn't degrade as fast.
Do you typically put roof lines on these structures?
No.
Yeah.
They're pre-manufactured buildings. They get shipped in, made out of concrete, and they're set on a foundation. And usually there is about any additions to it whatsoever.
And then, Tracy, I don't know if you can go down, it says sheet 23 on here, but it looks like more than 6 units are being proposed.
There are 6 huts and 6 6 generators. So there's a group of 5 generators and then another generator all by itself, which can kind of look like an extra
Oh.
hut.
Is there any chance of network?
Yeah, that's the
with the
thing.
airport?
No.
So this is how the layout will be, because there's a couple other layouts that didn't show as many units or structures on there, so.
Yeah, this was the final layout that we went to the planning commission with. And these plans are subject to change through the engineering site plan review as well.
Did you happen to also hear the questions from Jim, like regarding the grounding post and the signage?
Yep, I can give you my contact information, you can send it to me. That is done by our electrical engineer, so I know just enough to be dangerous, but I couldn't answer if they run any of those.
Okay.
But they do a grounding ring around each individual hut when they do it, and those are all tied back to the 4 posts.
Yeah, because what you don't want to do is cause a potential. So if you have somebody from the outside, that's why I was asking like 3 foot past the fence, is if you have somebody come up and touch the fence, and the fence post, are these metal fence posts that are going in?
The corner post, yes, are.
In the middle,
They're metal,
in between spans?
they're metal underneath, and then there's a slide over for that.
Yeah, so like I said, anytime you drive a rod into the ground, all I was gonna ask is that you could put additional, you're gonna use exothermic welding, I imagine, on the
Yep.
ground grid. So to put in more additional whips for everything that may go into the ground that's metal. So if you have fence posts, just ground them off.
Yeah,
You know, type of thing.
they should be grounded.
I saw the corners only, but when I was looking through the electrical print, again, I was looking at my handout, I didn't see, I saw that on the grounding print itself, I don't know if you could bring it up, it does show that the corners are grounded,
Okay.
But in between the spans, I don't know how they're secured, if they are secured in the ground, if it's metal rods. Just requesting that you put more whips in, put in some more exothermic whips and ground those off. And then carry it back 3 feet. Again, you don't want to create a potential
Yeah.
with somebody.
Yeah.
So,
So I'll
I'll
pass
give
it
you
on
mine.
to the electrical engineer, but yeah, they should have 3 foot and then go to another grounding
Okay.
outside that.
And you're going to use the crushed rock all around it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right. The one question I did have, can I stand up a second?
Yeah.
Okay, so on this print, one thing I could not figure out, I'll show you up here so everybody can see. Well, this area right there, and I'll show you up here. So you're going to have an electronic gate correctly? This will be electronic, correct?
Nope, it is a manual sliding gate now.
It's manual? Okay, what's this over here? Is that another
That's an H-frame.
person gate?
That's just an H-frame.
Oh, an H-frame?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not where your meter's going though, is it?
Yes.
Oh, you're going to put meter on inside? Because your landscaping shows it on the outside?
The meter will be on the outside. We put an outside H-frame and an inside H-frame just because each utility is different on how they
Right.
want it. And sometimes they won't allow it, so we just install it that way. And then
Okay.
whatever they allow, we put it wherever they allow.
Okay, I worked for ComEd for 30 years. So I know that it could be that with AMI, probably you could put outside and help yourself more than anything.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't need access to it.
Correct.
So, okay. So yeah, that's what, like I said, where these posts are going in the ground, if we could ground it off, that's great. And then I know you got 600 amp service coming in, and you got ATS switches in each one of the enclosures, where it's gonna flip over. That's what I was wondering about your arc flash study, and about labeling and things like that. Again, I'd love to work with you, if you want, to just make sure the labeling's good, correct, and what I'm used to, so.
All that stuff is on the hut. It's delivered specifically that way, and then Meta comes in and connects all of that stuff. So that's beyond our stuff, but I can pass it on to them.
Okay, that's like I was saying, the enclosure manufacturer, they're putting all your ATS switches in, your SCADA panels,
Yeah.
all your server panels
All
and
that's on
bunks and
there,
everything. Yeah. So with all that, like I said, the labeling would be great. Take a look at it. And then, like I said, the fence line as far as that goes. But, so you got 6 gen sets going
Yeah.
on that potentially?
Yeah.
Okay. So the diesel fuel, or is it gonna be natural gas on
Now
your?
it's diesel because they have load banks in front of them.
Okay, and I saw the batteries on them as well,
Yep.
right? So the fire department's looked at all that?
That becomes part of the site plan review part.
Okay.
We sent this to the fire department, I don't believe they got replied with any comments to it.
Okay, because what's the size of the gas tanks for those diesels?
1,400 gallons.
So now you got 1,400 gallons, okay, so you have liners underneath them and all that? I take it for spills?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Excuse me, are the gen sets self-contained units as with a belly tank type?
Yes. And they're have a tier, what is it, a level 3 enclosure for sound and.
So they're
everything.
double walled
Yep.
and monitored,
Mhm.
leak monitored. What about the enclosure itself? Does it have noise protection?
Yes. They get the biggest and best enclosure they can put on there that the manufacturer Generac, so whatever their best is, they put on there. They want to minimize, they want to be good neighbors. They're not trying to just shove the cheap stuff out that's loud and annoying and pollutes all over the place. Because we'll have to probably get an air permit for that many amount of diesel generators too.
I want to know what type of decibel range we'd be dealing with if we had all these generators running at the same time.
So, yeah, those only run once a month for maintenance and only if power goes out. Would be the only time they're running all at the same time.
That seems a little light for frequency.
That's, yeah, their goal is to never run those things.
Is, Tony, was this anything that the airport had an opinion on? Is this something that we run by them just because of the network and then the airport equipment? Is that
I don't know if they coordinated with the airport or not.
We ran investigations on if the crane or building would be in that takeoff path, and it doesn't meet that, so we did not contact the FAA or airport about the project.
Right, that would be the concern, and they did that.
So I wanted to, because I did a little bit of research, not much, but I know one of the complaints about private HUDs are the noise that I have seen some. How noisy can they be? And
So there are 6 HVAC units on each building. They are rated about 55 decibels, which if you look up like what 55 decibels is, it's like me talking right now. The generators themselves go up, I believe, to 65 decibels, and as I said, they're only turned on once a month to get testing to make sure they're still running, and then only when the power goes out will they kick on, and all of them will be on at the same time.
If we could, so can you go to page 39? It looks like this. Is that being proposed by the developer to put the roof lines on? Like,
So during planning commission, they wanted to spruce them up because they are just gray concrete buildings. So we amended the design and went to our contractor to see what they could do to add on to that, the concrete. And so there was 2 different buildings. One, that's the gable barn roof. So that one's only on the 6th building, and it won't be that brick anymore. It's going to be a cotton board and batten, so to kind of make it look like a more barn area. So there would be 6 different barns, but 5 of them will be matching, and then the 6th one is the one with the cupola. So we're doing something special here just because of what your planning commission had discussed with us, and I got it approved from my architect that they can do that.
The reasoning behind the planning
Can you
commission.
go to the mic?
Yeah,
please?
sorry.
It's on the front.
The planning commission's reasoning behind their request was they wanted this to look more like a farmstead rather than your typical buildings that you would see for fiber huts. So that was kind of their thought process behind that request.
but you probably wouldn't see the structures.
Go to page 27.
Okay, thanks. You
That's
probably
what we
wouldn't
try to
see-
show them too.
You wouldn't see the structures until you add this roof, right?
The fence is only 8 feet.
Correct. So if you go to page 27, there's actually,
But it's up, the elevation of the property is higher
or
than
was
the
it
road.
37? It was 37, my bad.
37?
Yeah. There's a profile view, there you go, right there. So you can zoom in on that profile view down there at the bottom.
Here?
Yeah, scroll down a little bit. So you'll see that we show like from the road itself, if you're right in front of it with the landscape berm and the fence, you don't see the top of that building, like you see like 1 or 2 feet of it. But that's because of the new roofs. That's the only reason you're gonna see them. But they were worried about seeing them while driving, not specifically right in front where that's showing. So as you're driving down the highway, you would see them from the side. And so they wanted to beautify that 2 or 3 feet that you would actually see, because the buildings are 13 feet tall.
And this was gonna go on all the structures or just the ones closest to the road?
There's 5 of them that have the gable roof and a 4x12 with the architectural shingle, same cotton white look on the outside, but they weren't supposed to have the bronze color to them. The northeast one is the one that's the special one that has the bigger, taller roof, the cupola, the accents with the bronze and the board and batten white. But otherwise, they have the same color scheme.
Is there any other discussion?
Is there a chance of doing a taller fence?
That would be.
It just seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, if you guys, I guess that would be up to the board if you guys want to allow for a deviation for a taller fence, and what direction you guys want to go with it.
I mean, at this point, I'd prefer to just stick with the Plan Commission's recommendation.
Will the access drive be paved, but then the rest of the property be crushed?
Correct.
Gravel?
It is concrete all the way to the gate, and then once you open the gate, it switches to the gravel. That way they have access to digging up the fiber and putting power lines in without digging up asphalt and concrete constantly and placing it back.
And the setback is sufficient off IDOT's right away?
Yes.
So, in case they ever widen it. Push base and solid fence. Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to a taller fence and eliminate all that roof line. It just seems like a big expense for something that people won't see with just how high that property is compared to the road and then looking up. Just don't see how you're gonna see the roof line. Here, I think we're making it more visible by adding that gable roof.
You are.
Yeah.
We talked to the planning commission about that, and they still wanted the color scheme and that and all the different roofs.
And I'm trying, what was the color scheme?
It's just like, one of the board members had a specific color, it's called cotton. It's like a warmer white.
I believe, Tracy, can you pull up that,
not
those
copper,
design
so.
things?
What slide?
The additional images that I sent you that were
Oh,
sent
yes.
by
Yeah.
one of the planning commissioners. This will give you an idea of what they were.
Yeah, there you go.
It is really nice if you could see it. And so you're saying, how many feet of this will you be able to see?
Well, when you build the roof like this, you'll see a lot of it.
Okay, I mean, it is nice if the planning commission took the time to plan it and your architect is agreeing.
Yeah, so that one northeast building will have it, the roof line look like that. The rest of them have at least a shorter roof line.
But as you're driving by, that was one of the things that you would see a portion of that.
Yep. The top couple feet, yep.
And then it's right off.
We've had other planning commissions ask for like just that 4 feet to be like a brick or more than that or something. Only what you can see is what's up there, but
Yeah, that seems more reasonable. Okay.
All right, is there any other discussion?
I'd like to say if Jim gets some,
Could
gets
you
your
speak
questions
up? I'm sorry.
answered.
Heidi, could you speak up a little bit?
Oh, I'm sorry. If Jim gets, sends you some questions, he gets some answers, could that be available to the trustees as well?
yeah. Yep, we can answer those or show the modified plan sheet for the electrical based on his comments.
Just include Danny in your communications, and then she can relay it to the village
Yep.
board. Thank you.
I just have another question, I think. Okay.
Sure.
So lighting, exterior lighting on those units, is there gonna be exterior lighting in the yard?
Yes, there's just wall packs.
Okay.
So there's
Wall switches inside the enclosure to turn them on, or are they sensor, eye
their
sensor?
sensor.
Okay.
Could you speak into the mic so we can,
Sorry.
sorry, it won't be on the recording if it's on.
No, that's okay. I was just asking about lighting outside the structures, if they were activated by motion or if they were activated within the enclosure themselves. There's different types, so.
I did like, you had applied for the deviation to have no street lighting that was on all of the time. I do like that.
Yeah, some of the, like the substations we build, some have their own switch, so when you get there, the enclosure, you turn them on and the yard lights come on. Some utilities want, all the time, they want the whole area cleared or lit up.
Yeah.
I can see both ways. If you have an issue there, the fire department is gonna be there, they're probably gonna want motion activated, so they have a lot of lights.
It's a good balance though with we have that night sky ordinance and so it's good enough.
Yeah,
to
downshine.
have everything.
Yeah.
They're photoelectric, so they pop up whenever dusk hits. So they'll pop on and they're pointed down and they don't. We could do a or show you the candle foot, which is how they measure the light for all of that if that's requested, but we don't leak light off the property.
Okay. Thank you.
Danny, you said the fire department hasn't had a chance to make comments on this, correct?
No, they were sent these plans and given time to provide us with comments, and they did not provide us with anything.
Okay, so they had an opportunity to think about it. Okay.
Do these structures have any, like fire alarms or anything in them?
They have fire alarms and smoke detectors inside of them, but from what I know, they're not hooked up to like call 911 or any of that.
Without it being monitored anywhere, there's kind of no point. It's completely unoccupied.
It's unoccupied, and it has a 1-hour burn rating, and we've had other jurisdictions with fire chiefs, and Meta would rather have it burn than try to save it because they'll just set a new building on top of it. Usually trying to save it with the water causes more issues.
So with the battery packs inside, is there a hydrogen sensor too?
That I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, your fire department's gonna want a hydrogen sensor if they haven't reviewed it, especially with the packs of batteries.
So yeah, the building plans, the shelters are all pre-manufactured. They get reviewed by the state of Illinois for all of these different tidbits. And they get stamped by that, the state, and then they go to the building permit and get reviewed by the fire marshal, et cetera.
What about the signage that you had mentioned before?
The signing stuff is not on any of our plans. I've checked with the building plans. That's done by the manufacturer to see if they have those, or if Meta just does that as part of their O&M and they take over, they put all those up. But there are requirements for them to put up that type of signage. We just don't do that on our part of the civil design.
Okay. I mentioned the arc flash study. If there was an arc flash study done on this, because you are converting the energy over from generator to electrical to flip back and forth, there should have been some type of study, and in the back of that study, it'll show you the appropriate labeling. That should be on the equipment. That's why I was asking if there was a study available.
If you can email us all the questions, and we can even send it to Chief Moran as well, and just make sure, we'll make sure everything gets answered. And we'll send it to the village board as well, because they're good questions.
Yeah, I'd say if you want to provide me with your card, I can definitely follow up with them too.
Good.
Thank you.
Danny, did you have a replacement trans to the red cedar that was proposed?
No, we just left it up to them, the plan commission. It was Carrie Ann that brought that up, which is very knowledgeable about plants, and she said it didn't really matter what other pine to use, but not red cedar. So.
Maybe a fir that's more local.
I was gonna say, I think we changed it to a white pine, but if I could change it to a fir or whatever, yeah. They did not want the red cedar.
Yeah, I don't know if we've had
We'll
good
plant
luck
things
with
everywhere.
white pines in the areas. Defer to Public Works.
Thank you. And then your information, do you have his information to send the card? Do you happen to have a card?
I don't have a card, but I can write down information.
Okay, that'd be awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Up next, we have staff reports for Scott Keppel and administration.
My report's in your packet, and happy to answer any questions.
How do you have Hankus Road Bridge on your list? Have we done anything regarding filling the potholes?
So,
The township went out and patched a little bit of them. We have an upcoming meeting we were able to schedule with Senator Syverson, who's gonna help us get somewhere and schedule a meeting with IDOT.
Can we put signs up that say rough road ahead? Because it's,
We were gonna put up a sign that says it's IDOT's bridge.
Uh-huh.
And then I also made IDOT aware this week of the request for signs, so IDOT has the request to put up signage that it's a rough road.
but can we do it in interim? I apologize, but it just seems like our residents are getting caught up in the red tape between governmental bodies, and we could just be the first to do something proactive. It's those potholes, especially if you're going westbound or northbound, whatever it's considered, somebody's going to lose a front tire. I think if they go slow and they can maneuver around it, or at least we give them a warning that something needs to be, that they need to proceed with caution, it'd be good. But this has been a sore subject for years. I'm not saying we're gonna resolve it overnight, but I think just letting people know that the bridge is really rough.
I think it's close to.
So at least leading up to the bridge from one side, it's village road.
Correct.
So we could potentially put a sign, but we could not put a sign on the other side.
I
The
don't
township
think
would need to
we
do that.
can. Yeah, I
That's
don't
their
think
road on
we
the other
can.
side of the bridge.
Well, I would think if we do one side, Doug might do the other,
Sure.
yeah.
Sure.
But,
We probably just have to put on a barricade because I don't know if I'll get it in the ground with the frost. We
Yeah.
tried today. It wasn't not good.
Yeah, no. And maybe it's next week, it's supposed to get 50.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
just something to let people, warn people. And then, I know, and Tony, you probably remember, Brad, you probably remember, like, I thought 7, 8 years ago, we took IDOT to court to prove that it was their bridge, and their lawyers had it dismissed because they accepted responsibility. Have we sent that suit?
So first of all, I want to defer to council. I don't know if we want to talk about this in the previous litigation in open session, or if we should or shouldn't before I dive into it.
We have her, yeah, actually, this probably noticed up for.
We always notice on the agenda for all the different potential reasons to go into.
Let's go into potential litigation for that one. Does that work? We can do close session.
Sure, I don't know what the secret is, but, a long time ago, we took IDOT to court. The IDOT lawyers asked that the suit be dismissed because they acknowledged that they were responsible for it. And then, again, going back a number of years ago, there was like $3 million that they're gonna spend on the deck, and then they came back with $300,000.
I can show you something. Let's talk in executive.
Okay, all right. But then they came back and only spent $300,000 on it.
I don't even think they spent that. They
Yeah,
had
and it's been a joke.
a terrible overlay on it. That was it.
Yeah,
It lasted like a year.
Right, so anyways, I realize, we don't want to do too much because it's an expense, but on the other hand, I just think the residents are getting caught up in all this red tape, and IDOT's not doing anything, and I'm glad you're getting Congressman Severson to help out.
We should, yeah. I mean, we should have an upcoming meeting, so there's more.
Okay.
Up next, Karen Johns, Finance. Sorry.
I have nothing to add, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much.
Excuse me. We moved around over too fast because I had a question on Scott's
Oh, sure.
report. The update on the airport solar and any of the other solar projects, because we've had some commentary from people, emails about what's the status, what things been approved, where is it going, so.
Dan, if you can come up and, so they have had their special use permit for the airport solar. It has been, they've asked for an extension twice, which is the maximum allowable amount of extensions they can have according to village code. They have submitted they've submitted plans for review to the Community Development Department, and I can let Danny clarify.
Yes, so we received their building permit application, which is their next steps for starting to build. We are reviewing those plans, and they're currently working on revising some revisions that they needed. So it's in the review process. Their revisions and approvals need to be done by April 16th, because that's when their special use permit expires.
And any equipment that has been out there?
Yeah, so their residents may have been seeing some equipment out there, and they're just doing some testing of the soils in the ground and stuff. It's all preliminary stuff that we don't require permits for, but they notified us and asked us if they needed any permits. They're just doing some testing on the ground.
Did you also have staff report?
I have nothing to add to my staff report.
Thank you.
Danny, I was going to ask, we were talking months ago about updating the bike plan.
Yes, I have it on my list.
Oh, okay.
We're figuring out how we want to do that. So if we adopt what was done in 2010, I believe, or if we need to go back and
To me,
start the
it's
process, so.
good starting point, that approved, and then we can make amendments.
Yeah, no, I have not forgotten about it. It's on my list for sure.
Thank you. Chief Rollins, please.
I just have one item to highlight. in my-
Chief, if you could come up. The recording won't get you without the mic, so sorry for the pain.
One item to add to my staff report that's new, and that's on the last page, and that's just, we created a spreadsheet just to show the change orders for any additional items that were not included in the original bids. So we had one change order for $333,350. That's there, and the remaining balance is $321,650, I believe. That's there. So that's where the change orders will appear as we move forward. Again, as a reminder, anything over $20,000 will have to come back before the board for approval. Anything under that will be the committee, Scott and myself, to move those forward. So happy to answer any questions.
I like that not much extra has been spent. That's, yeah.
We're gonna get some
There's gonna be
other
some
ones,
more,
I know,
okay.
so as more is being, coming up, so I'm sure we talked about a number of them, but they haven't been officially put into, I will say, into an invoice style change order.
I think it's good to have the on-site construction management that I know Trustee Lindy had recommended, because they're helping hold the GC and some of the subs feet to the fire when it comes to saying, oh, we didn't plan on that or whatnot. It's good to have them representing us, and they're keeping Chief and Brad and I well informed. So that has been a positive for this project.
Yeah, so we just hit that, the 6-month milestone since they started in September, and we started the 6-month here in February. And I'm glad that Scott suggested that Gordon and Clark come to give a presentation of where we're at and where the money is being spent. An opportunity for you as a board to ask those questions. We do have what they call as ONERA meetings with the architects bi-weekly, so every 2 weeks we sit down and have those conversations and get in depth things that have occurred, and then the next couple of weeks what they're planning on happening. And then we're in there quite a bit. It's taking shape. They're working through the office space pretty quickly, where they're going to start doing the rest of the booking area, the detention area. They had to wait for the concrete pour that happened today to enclose some of the plumbing that was in the slabs, and then they can finish the masonry up on that section. So I'm impressed. I'm liking the design, the flow, how it looks. It's really reshaped the inside of that building. So I think when we get tours for everybody, when it's all said and done, I'm hoping you'll be just as much excited about it as we are. So I've had an opportunity to bring some of the staff members through it, just so that they get a preview and can point, and also be part of the process. So happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Brad Merkel, Public Works.
The report's in there. Happy to answer your questions.
Thank you.
Any update on widening 47 after your meeting? Fingers.
Yeah, we met with IDOT, the railroad, the ICC, and everybody last Thursday, and it's officially been kicked to a June 2026 letting. And they all kind of chuckled on site, saying more like 27 construction season. So it's still delayed.
Thank you.
Are they pointing fingers at anybody, like who's delaying it?
No, they're still working with the railroad on the reconstruction of all that, trying to get everything on the same page, if you will.
So if you happen to be at one of those meetings, we did have a request from someone for like some sort of safety arms or something like that over in that area. I don't know if that's something.
Well, there's not even any pedestrian crossing set up for that crossing on Main Street.
I know, so.
Because there's nowhere to put sidewalks on the south side of the railroad tracks. 'Cause the businesses go right to the road there.
Okay, so then I'll relay that then. The question was like, eventually could students from John Shields walk over to the Historical Society for a field trip, but it doesn't sound like a crossing is
Yeah, because the
possible.
only thing they're really doing there is relocating our water main on Main Street to get valves out of where the temporary tracks go across.
Okay.
And then the tracks will get put back in the same place they are now, essentially.
Okay,
So like, they're only gonna move the north side crossing arm, they'll move that to the north to allow for the tracks to get moved north. The south one will stay right where it's at,
okay,
so.
sounds good. Thank you so much. Trustee Lindy.
I am next report.
I'm so sorry, I didn't hear that. Did you say no report?
No
Okay.
report.
Trustee London.
Nothing to report.
Trustee Special.
No report.
Trustee Michaels.
Thank you for having a moment of silence for Kevin Johnson. That was Marie Johnson, who was a longtime trustee's husband, and Kevin was president of the Park District for a number of years, but he passed away unexpectedly last week, and it was a shock to the family, as it would be, but thank you for recognizing him. Thank you.
Trustee Ross.
No report.
And Trustee Bonnie.
No report.
President's report, I just wanted to mention the Beautification and Gardening Committee, we're having a seed swap on Monday. It'll be at 5:30, and Ball Horticultural emailed today, and they are gonna donate about 25,000 seeds to our community members, which is awesome. So, come by, get some seeds. And there is an executive session this evening. Is there a motion in the second to enter executive session to discuss Personnel 5, ILCS 122C1, and to adjourn the meeting afterward?
No. I think the attorney wanted pending litigation.
Yes, as well.
Oh, and sorry, and litigation 5, ILCS 122C11 as well. And if we can have a motion in a second to enter and to adjourn the meeting afterward.
So moved.
We have a first from Trustee Special. Is there a second?
I'll second.
And a second from Trustee Michaels. If we could have roll call, please, Tracy.
Trustee Special?
Aye.
Trustee Michaels?
Aye.
Trustee Roscoff?
Aye.
Trustee Bonnie?
Aye.
Trustee Lundy,
Aye.
Trustee London?
All right, the ayes have it, and we will enter executive session at this time and adjourn the meeting after.